up, a right uppercut or a left uppercut. After those combinations
in the fighter meetings.
He's fucking May then?
Yes, in May. We're gonna be fighting there. So it'll be good, man. Just another big fight. So I'm ready to do it. I mean, Pitbull's is still a great fighter. He may have lost one time, but you know, fans love him. He's a big fighter.
Isaac Pitbull Cruz recently surprised both fans and boxing experts by turning down a fight with Ryan Garcia. For many, this was seen as a huge opportunity for Cruz to establish himself among the best in the sport and earn a big payday.
Me cierro, como lo he dicho, yo aquí estoy para pelearle ahora en 140 y demostrarle que estamos igual de fuertes o más fuertes que en 135 y también callarle la boca.
For Cruz, the timing just wasn't right. His advisor, Sean Gibbons, explained that Cruz didn't want to commit to another fight while he still had an important matchup with Angel Fierro scheduled for February 1st. Cruz believed spreading his focus across two fights could hurt him, and he wasn't willing to risk everything for a quick opportunity.
I want to make him think. I don't want him to think that he can just do what he wants to do against.
They're scared! They're scared! There they are, ladies and gentlemen, premier boxing champion.
The situation developed quickly. Just hours after boxing insider Al Alec announced that Ryan Garcia would now fight Rolly Romero, Gibbons explained Cruz's reasoning. Cruz, with a record of 26-1 and 18 knockouts, had already set his focus on his upcoming fight with Angel Fierro. He believed that fight deserved his full attention. Gibbons described Cruz's approach as both careful and smart, pointing out how other fighters, like Jamie Munguia, suffered setbacks after looking past opponents in favor of bigger matches. For Cruz, the lesson was clear: stay focused on the task at hand or risk losing everything. Cruz's decision isn't just about being cautious, it's about respecting the sport and the risks it carries. Angel Fierro, with a record of 22-3 and 18 knockouts, is no easy opponent. Known for his tough style and powerful punches, Fierro can ruin anyone's plans if they underestimate him. Gibbons stressed that ignoring Fierro would not only be disrespectful but dangerous. You turn the other guy into a tune-up, and that's when you get beat, Gibbons said. This careful approach is why Cruz isn't treating Fierro like just another step in his career but as a serious challenge that demands his full focus. That said, turning down the Garcia fight has sparked plenty of debate. A fight between Cruz and Garcia would have been a spectacle. Cruz, known for his relentless pressure and knockout power, against Garcia, a quick and flashy counterpuncher, would have been exciting to watch. Add in their contrasting personalities, Cruz's no-nonsense attitude versus Garcia's social media swagger, and fans would have been in for a memorable event. Meanwhile, Garcia isn't slowing down. He's moving forward with a fight against Rolly Romero, who also brings his own flair and confidence. Set for early May, this fight will headline a major event in New York's Times Square, organized by Al Heyman. The card is shaping up to be huge, with Devin Haney facing former champion Jose Ramirez, and heavyweights Martin Bacol and Fahima Jagba in a title eliminator. Held during Cinco de Mayo weekend, a time traditionally dominated by Canelo Alvarez, this event marks the rise of a new generation of stars ready to take over the sport's biggest stages.
I don't want him to think that he can just do what he wants to do against lesser fighters. He's facing
a fighter that's gonna fucking get me what I want, that will make me into a bigger star, is me versus Ryan. But I think that's premature. Me and Ryan will fight at welterweight.
You and Ryan Garcia at welterweight?
Yeah, down the line, you'll see. It's gonna be one of the biggest fights in the history of boxing, if not the biggest fight in the history of boxing, and you'll see.
You think he's got more skills right now than Devin Haney? This Ryan?
For Garcia, his fight against Romero is a major turning point in his career. After the controversial no contest with Devin Haney in 2024, Garcia is determined to prove himself. His suspension, which kept him out of the ring for several months, ends just in time for this fight, and he's eager to show the world why he's still one of the most talked about fighters in the sport. Romero, on the other hand, isn't coming into this fight as the underdog. Since his loss to Cruz by TKO in the 5th round, Romero has been working hard in the gym in Las Vegas to rebuild his reputation. His win over Manuel Hayes in September was a step in the right direction, and now he's ready to take on Garcia with everything he's got.
May the best man win. That's all I can say. May the best man win. Whoever wins deserves it.
Well, Tank last. Is there anything in particular that Ryan has to look forward to with his skill set versus Tank on fight night?
Tank tricky, Ryan tricky. They're both fast as
As Garcia and Romero gear up for their showdown, Cruz's team remains focused on the task at hand. Gibbons made it clear that Cruz's decision to turn down the Garcia fight wasn't influenced by his promoter, Premier Boxing Champions, but was entirely Cruz's own choice. This is unusual in boxing, where promoters often have a major say in a fighter's career. Cruz's ability to make this decision on his own shows his confidence and his clear understanding of what's best for him in the long run. This decision also underscores the mental side of boxing, which is just as important as physical skill. Fighters who get too caught up in future opportunities often end up paying the price. Gibbons pointed out how legends like Terry Norris and Tommy Morrison lost big paydays because they underestimated opponents in the past. Cruz, it seems, has learned from these mistakes. For him, beating Fierro is the first hurdle he needs to clear before thinking about bigger fights. That said, the potential for a Cruz-Garcia fight in the future is still very much alive. Gibbons hinted that once Cruz takes care of business against Fierro, talks about a fight with Garcia could pick up again. Cruz himself is confident he can beat Garcia, even boldly stating he'd knock Ryan Garcia dead. It's the kind of statement that keeps fans interested, even as the fight remains on hold for now.
Garcia has to figure out with that right uppercut that I mentioned earlier. There it is.
The rivalry between Cruz and Garcia is even more intriguing because of their connections to two of boxing's biggest names. Garcia is backed by Oscar de la Hoya, while Cruz is tied to Floyd Mayweather Jr. This adds another layer to their potential fight, as the ongoing tension between de la Hoya and Mayweather adds extra heat to any matchup between their fighters. As the situation unfolds, it's clear both Cruz and Garcia are making moves that align with their goals. Cruz is sticking to his belief in focusing on one fight at a time, while Garcia is stepping up to headline a huge event. Fans might be disappointed that the Cruz-Garcia fight isn't happening yet, but the stage is being set for an even bigger showdown in the future. For now, the boxing world will be watching closely as Cruz faces Fierro and Garcia takes on Romero. Both of these matchups have the potential to shape the future of the sport, with everything on the line for both fighters. The drama, high stakes, and excitement are what make boxing so captivating, and with Cruz and Garcia likely to meet again in the future, this story is far from finished. Ryan Garcia's path to his fight with Rolly Romero hasn't been easy. After his controversial no decision against Devin Haney in April 2024, Garcia has been focused on rebuilding his reputation. A positive test for a banned substance added to the complications, casting a shadow over what should have been a career highlight. Instead of celebrating a victory over Haney, Garcia faced a one-year suspension from the New York State Athletic Commission, sidelining him during a crucial time in his career.
Thinking of that because he's been in that situation.
One of the fights that he definitely wants to see and his priority this year is obviously the rematch with Ryan Garcia. How does it feel for you to be able to hear that that's a priority for him?
I mean, it feels great because at the end of the day, that's a priority for me. There's a lot of unfinished business in that fight. So that's a fight that I think that has to happen sooner or later. And so
Garcia's comeback attempt in late 2024 was set back by a wrist injury, further delaying his return to the ring. Now, with his suspension ending on April 20, 2025, his fight with Romero will mark his official return to competitive boxing. This isn't just a warm-up fight for Garcia, it's a statement. He's eager to remind both fans and critics why he's still one of the biggest names in the sport. Names in the sport. 10. Romero, a former junior welterweight title holder, has had his own ups and downs in his career, including a knockout loss to Gervonta Davis in 2022. But he's since bounced back, with his most recent win being a unanimous decision over Manuel Hayes, showing his determination to stay relevant in a highly competitive division. For Garcia, Romero is a serious threat, one he can't afford to underestimate if he hopes to set up a future rematch with Devin Haney.
Ryan Garcia as he lands 2 over Mexico, Puerto Rico on Cinco de Mayo week.
While Garcia has been dealing with controversy and injuries, Devin Haney has stayed focused on building his legacy. With a perfect record of 31-0, Haney has proven himself, but his journey hasn't been without challenges. After his no-decision fight with Garcia, he was named the WBC's champion in recess, a title that allows him to challenge for the belt once he returns to action. Right now, Haney is preparing for his interim fight against Jose Ramirez, a former unified junior welterweight champion. Ramirez, with a record of 29-2, may not be at his career peak, but he's still a tough competitor. After losing to Josh Taylor in 2021 for the undisputed title, Ramirez has rebounded with 3 straight wins before losing to Arnold Barboza last November. Known for his aggressive style and solid experience, Ramirez will be a real challenge for Haney, who will need to stay sharp to avoid any slip-ups.
Like it or not, the rematch between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney would be one of the most watched rematches we've seen in modern day boxing.
If the rematch happens, of course, it's going to be so much money. But the negotiation sides of this fight are going to be through the roof. Devin Haney, he feels he got scammed. He fought against a dirty fighter.
Haney is preparing for his interim fight against Jose Ramirez, a former unified junior welterweight champion. Ramirez, with a record of 29-2, may not be at his career peak, but he's still a tough competitor. After losing to Josh Taylor in 2021 for the undisputed title, Ramirez has rebounded with 3 straight wins before losing to Arnold Barboza last November. Known for his aggressive style and solid experience, Ramirez will be a real challenge for Haney, who will need to stay sharp to avoid any slip-ups.
That's what you've got in tonight's main event on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN.
Yeah, let's go, baby. Get down there. Yeah, up. Go. Get out. That's your failure. Come on. One more. You got one more, Haney. You got one more, Haney. You got one more. You're lowest. Up. Up. That's failure right there, baby.
Since his only career loss to Michael Hunter in 2018, Bacol has been on a tear. His win over American prospect Jared Anderson in August was especially notable, as he handed Anderson his first professional defeat. Bacol's mix of power, skill, and toughness makes him a serious threat in the heavyweight division. Ajagba, with a record of 21-1, has also been gaining momentum since his loss to Frank Sanchez in 2021. Known for his knockout power, Ajagba has beaten tough opponents like Stephen Shaw and Guido Vianello. His ability to adapt and overcome challenges has made him one of the most exciting fighters in the division. A win over Bacol would push Ajagba into title contention and set up a potential showdown with Daniel Dubois. At the heart of the May 2025 event, however, remains the highly anticipated potential rematch between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney.
Came all out here for nothing, huh? You ducking it, huh? Lupe, you done ducked it, huh? Yeah, you done ducked it. Yeah, y'all done ducked it. Stay quiet.
For Garcia, a rematch with Haney is a chance to prove his victory in their first fight wasn't a fluke. He's determined to silence his critics and reclaim his spot at the top of boxing. A strong win over Romero would set him up perfectly for a showdown with Haney, sparking one of the sport's most exciting rivalries. Haney, on the other hand, is focused on proving he won their first encounter. He's determined to leave no doubt in the rematch. With his disciplined approach and technical skill, Haney is a tough opponent, and he's already preparing for a strong return to the ring. Romero, still reeling from his brutal loss to Isaac Pitbull Cruz by TKO, faces a tough road ahead. That defeat not only cost him the WBA light welterweight title but also put his reputation on the line.
Like to see someone develop. Jason Velez turn into Jello early on.
These are the 5 punches of death. First one is the jab. Second one is the right hand. Third one is the hook. The left hook. Right hook.
Ryan Garcia didn't hold back after Gervonta Tank Davis knocked out Rolando Romero, taking to social media to call out Romero's performance and his inability to take a punch. Garcia slammed Romero, saying the punches he took weren't even that hard and yet he couldn't handle them. He pointed out that Romero's chin was toast and mocked his lack of resilience in the ring. Garcia made it clear that Romero is inexperienced and can't take punishment. For Garcia, it was a moment of satisfaction after years of failed attempts to set up a fight with Romero. He said he had been pushing for a match with Romero for years, but Romero's team kept turning him down. Even when Garcia was coming back to the ring after a layoff, he wanted to fight Romero, but Romero didn't want any part of it. Garcia also claimed that after his wins over Emmanuel Tego and Javier Fortuna, Romero still avoided the fight. Things got even more heated when the WBC ordered them to face off, but Romero's camp reportedly ignored the order. This has only made Garcia more vocal, accusing Romero of ducking him. He dismissed all the talk about mandatory fights, claiming Romero was just afraid of losing. Critics have often questioned how Romero's career has been managed, with some saying his rise was due more to careful matchmaking by Floyd Mayweather's team than actual talent. After suffering a devastating loss to Davis in 2022 and now a tough defeat to Isaac Cruz, many are even more skeptical of Romero's abilities in the ring.
Go war. Garcia has to be in the middle of the ring and doing what he's.
Bradley is crazy enough to do this without the body protector. Here we go. You ready?
Here I go.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. Oh, yeah, it was different than last time.
Boxing News 24 criticized Rolando Romero for choosing to fight Isaac Cruz, a lesser-known opponent, instead of taking a big-money fight against Ryan Garcia. The publication even suggested that Romero should be upset with whoever advised him to pass up the Garcia fight. Garcia himself couldn't believe Romero turned down what could have been a huge career opportunity. "I tried to get that fight so many times, even after my year-and-a-half break," Garcia said, clearly frustrated. "But he didn't want it after I beat Tego, and he didn't want it after I beat Fortuna." Garcia believes Romero's refusal to fight him shows a lack of confidence, and now Romero has to work hard to shake off the perception that he's avoiding tougher competition.
Velez, who once again, we remind you, he's never been stopped as a pro. Ryan Garcia.
Well, I would love to know, I saw that Ryan Garcia posted yesterday, if he was kind of questioning your decision of choosing to fight Cruz when he said you could have made more with him. Tell me a little bit about how you would respond to that.
I'm with Al Heyman. Ryan Garcia's biggest fight was with Al Heyman. The most money he ever made was with Al Heyman. And then he goes back and fights for Cruz.
Despite his recent losses, a fight between Rolando Romero and Ryan Garcia still has all the makings of an exciting showdown. Both fighters have strong personalities, and their rivalry is filled with drama. This won't just be a battle of skills, it will also be a clash of egos. Garcia is known for his speed and precision, while Romero brings raw power and an unpredictable style, setting up a thrilling contest. The tension between them only adds to the excitement, with Garcia publicly criticizing Romero's abilities and Romero facing accusations of avoiding the fight. Fans are eager to see who will come out on top in this personal, high-stakes matchup. For Garcia, this fight is a chance to prove he's back after a rough few years. His wins over top opponents have been overshadowed by controversies, but a dominant victory over Romero could help him regain his position as a top contender. For Romero, the pressure is even greater. After 2 big losses and a lot of criticism, beating Garcia would silence his doubters and reignite his career. Romero has shown flashes of greatness, and if he can put it all together, an upset win could completely change his story. As the fight draws nearer, the anticipation grows. With both fighters having something to prove, the lead-up is sure to be filled with trash talk and mind games, keeping fans hooked. Neither can afford to lose. Garcia wants to solidify his place among the best in the sport, while Romero is fighting for redemption. If the fight lives up to the hype, it could set the stage for a bigger rematch later on, potentially shaping both fighters' careers. And with Garcia eyeing a future showdown with Devin Haney, a win over Romero would only add more excitement to that possibility.
If he misses and he don't protect himself, he will get countered because...
Arrested weeks before he got arrested. How do you feel about him calling out David?
I'm gonna tell you like this. Let me explain something to you.
Okay.
If I say I'm gonna get arrested on, what's today, June 14th? On June 17th, and I go over there and fucking punch somebody in the face, then I get arrested, well, yeah.
With the boxing world buzzing about his upcoming rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis later this year, a win over Rolando Romero would send a strong message to Davis and his team. After their first thrilling fight, where Tank delivered a devastating knockout, fans have been eager for a rematch, and now it's finally happening. Both fighters have promised to come back even stronger, bringing more power, skill, and determination, making this a can't-miss event for 2025. For Ryan Garcia, this fight is all about redemption. He's hungrier than ever to prove he can take on Tank's power and show off his own speed and precision. On the other side, Tank, still undefeated, is ready to cement his dominance and shut down Garcia's challenge once and for all. This isn't just another fight, it's a defining moment in boxing. With other potential megafights like Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez also making waves, 2025 is shaping up to be an exciting year for the sport. What do you think about these upcoming matchups? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.